Brilliant. Thank you, Ashish. Okay, so formally, let's get started. Good morning, all. Thank you for joining the Sunday call. And today's topic again is very, very interesting. So, just like our ritual that we follow every time, we start with some positive thoughts every Sunday. So, starting with the first positive thought, which is very important for the topic today, body and mind are connected. So, today we'll see and we'll also experience that how body and mind they are connected. Moving on to the next one, this is about learning, this is about skills. Repetition is the mother of skill. So any new skill that you want to pick up, anything that you want to learn, that is all about doing it multiple times. You do it first time, you be a little bit uncomfortable, but you do it again and again and again. That skill becomes like a back of the hand kind of a skill for you. So that's the process of learning. We are going to also talk about in today's call that how some learnings, how some skills can work for us, and how some skills and habits, some of the lessons that we have learned the wrong way, they work against us. This is one of my favorite quotes from NLP. It goes like all thinking is distortion, all paraphrasing is distortion, which means that, many a times, yeah, many a times it is, many a times our mind distorts the reality around us. So it's not the truth that we see. Sometimes we see a distorted version of the truth. And thanks to our mind that, and last session, the last class, last Sunday, we kind of experienced that how our mind is a powerful tool, but sometimes it is not perceiving the reality in the right way. And finally, every behavior is linked to a neurosynaptic connection, which means that every behavior that we have, every thought, there is an actual physiological linkage. There are these neurons in our brain which are getting wired, and when we are forming a habit, the neurons in the brains they are firing in a particular way. So a lot of times we have seen that, if somebody is working on mindfulness, if let's say some of the practitioners, they have a, very strong practice, that also kind of results in changing the physiology of the mind. So that's what we are kind of here focusing on. And yeah, and this is about understanding that our mind is a very, very powerful resource. Mind is like Google, so just like Google, which is the biggest search engine of the world, our mind can search and look for things which are there, and things, it can create our worlds, our realities for us. And that's how powerful our mind is. So, for the same reason, how we harness the power of our mind, we are again back on this Sunday club where we mindfully focus on the topics of psychology, neuro-linguistic programming, and mindfulness practices. And today is the beginning of our 5 points series. The 5 points that we are going to cover are related to the one single topic, which is how do you reprogram negative beliefs and negative mind. Yeah, so negative mind habits, negative beliefs, negative behaviors and habits. This is about taking a step in that direction of how do we reprogram those operative practices of our mind. Our vision is that you gather these skills, and especially, for the next 5 part series, I'm not going to hide any of the techniques. Whatever I know in the area of reprogramming negative beliefs, I'm going to share on this forum with all of you, and you can take and you can apply so that you can help a lot of people in return. So just earmark the next 30 to 40 minutes that you have every Sunday. This 5 point series will help you understand and gain a better perspective. Yeah. So this initiative, as I've always said, is pro bono. It's a free initiative, and that's how it will be. Yeah. What it requires is your curiosity. Every Sunday, we come together as positive people, learning and applying these techniques, and we feel free to share this knowledge. Yeah, so our intention is that you be curious and you stay curious. So today is the first session where I'm going to share with you this technique of reprogramming a negative belief and reprogramming a negative habit. So if you are happy and excited to learn that, give a thumbs up so that I know that you are there, you are listening. It is a very interesting topic. I'm going to also share some further resources with you that how this can be further developed. We have a limited time every Sunday, but I want you to kind of go back and also, dive deeper onto this topic. What I'll give you some really, really powerful techniques. Yeah. So starting with this word belief, what is the meaning of belief? Belief is any thought that we have which, we have invested strongly into, and now that is something pretty strong in our mind as a worldview, as a concept, you know. But like any other perception of mind, any other thought of mind, it can be true, it may not be true. So right in the center of this word belief, there are these three letters LIE, which means that it can also be a lie. Okay. There are certain beliefs which we hold very, very close to us. There are certain self beliefs that we hold close to us, that this is what who I am, this is what I do. And there are certain beliefs which we say as our limitations, that this is what I can do and this is what I can't do, you know. And most of that programming is formed based on certain experiences. So the psychology of belief is that it starts very, very early, like very early from a young age. We start thinking about and interacting with the world. Let's say there is a child who looks at fire for the first time. And when he looks at the fire, he gets curious and it is kind of exciting him and he goes nearby. Immediately, his mother or his father, whosoever is there, they look at the child and just with the urge and the sense of protecting the child, they just come near and they started shouting that no, 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 don't go near fire, and no, this is harmful. Now the belief that child is now making in that particular instant is that fire can be dangerous. Now that's a good belief, it is with a mechanism of protecting the child. But let's say if that belief is carried too far and some way the child is not able to work with fire at all, that in a way is becoming a limiting belief. So constantly we have to kind of see and review that what are the beliefs which are working for us, and throughout our process of growing up, throughout our process of getting parented, in our upbringing, what are those things that we have learned which are working for us, and what are those things which are working against us. Sometimes when we are in a certain state of mind, let's say we are completely engrossed in something, or we just woke up, or before going to sleep, or at a very, very emotionally charged moment in our life, some thoughts that we have in our mind, they result to a feeling. Now these feelings in psychology, we say that they become a very strong anchor, and those anchors and those feelings and those thoughts, they lead to a certain action, certain behavior that we demonstrate. And that behavior in turn becomes a habit. For example, if I ask you to remember one of the best memories in your life, what comes to your mind? If you would like to just quickly type on the chat box, you can do that. If you want to unmute and speak, you can share the best memory in your life. Abhinav, Ashish, anybody would like to share best memory or type on the chat box? And I tell you what is one of my best memories. One of my best memories is I attended one of my friend's birthday, And on that birthday, his parents have made this cake for him, which was like really, really nice. And that memory is one of the good memories that I have. Abhinav says India winning the 2011 World Cup. Yes. And you remember those days, there used to be a theme, a sound they used to play. So every time, let's say we are looking at those pictures of the memories, every time we are looking at those sounds, that it triggers a certain feeling in our body, a certain positive feeling. I remember there was, I don't know, there was this jingle. I think it was IPL or some other cricket match, and that time that jingle used to immediately draw our attention, and we used to feel very, very motivated, inspired, and full of energy. So that's how some of the thoughts, some of these happy moments, they lead to a particular kind of thought process, a feeling in our body. These feelings further translate into actions, and these actions over a period of time become a habit. For example, the first time you came from office, and let's say you sat in front of a television, and there was a particular program which was going on, which was fun to watch. You saw it and you really enjoyed it. The next day you come home, again the same program is playing on the TV, and you like it, and again you enjoy it. Now third day you come from the office, but then, or you come from outside, wherever you're coming from, the TV is switched off, but immediately the impulse will be that we'll look for the remote and we'll switch on the TV and look for that program. That's the psychology of mind, friends, the psychology of these thoughts and patterns, that either we would like to go away from a particular negative experience, displeasure, or we want to go towards pleasure. So it is important that we review that what are some of these habits that kind of formed during our stages when we were growing up, or the stages when we were in these high energy or high emotional states. That is also where the learnings are getting formed. I'm sure some of you are aware of this iceberg model, that what is there on the top, is a little part of the entire behavior that we see, but maximum of that is beneath the surface. So if I ask you how much percentage of iceberg is above water, you can use the chat window and type your response. Let's say if iceberg is 100%, how much is above and how much is beneath water? Anybody can type. Devansh has also joined us. Good morning, Devansh. A very warm welcome to our Sunday club. Ashish, Abhinav, how much percentage of water, how much percentage of ice is above water for an iceberg? Yeah, you can just type in whatever percentage you feel. 50%, 20%, 30%, whatever you feel. I can see few responses. Abhinav says 20%. Thank you. Thank you, Abhinav. Okay. It is a classic physics question, by the way. Yes, Ashish has given the right answer. Ashish, friends, for those of you who don't know, he's a PhD scholar from IIT, and that's absolutely correct. 10% of the ice is above water, 90% of that iceberg is below water, which means the behavior that we see, the 10% of the outward behavior, which we can say is going for us as a strength of ours or as a negative habit, a negative belief, that is just 10%. But 90%, which is beneath this layer of subconscious mind or unconscious mind, is in the form of those feelings, those thoughts, and those beliefs and values that we carry. So that is where it is getting all the more interesting. And this is that our self concept, the idea like self concept, self confidence, or ideas which are on the negative side of the equation, like a negative self concept, feeling low self-esteem, or maybe a negative habit that is kind of not working for you, they are also the part of the same structure. Just 10% is visible, but beneath that layer of water, what lies is that 90% of that belief. So let's review that how we can change these beliefs and how the feelings will also change. The technique that I want to share with you or introduce in the next 5 sessions, including today, is the technique called reframing. Reframing means putting the frame in a different way. Yeah. And we'll start with the reframing, then we'll also understand how the mind works in the reframing. And sooner than later, we will also go and we'll find out things like reparenting, rewiring, how do we reprogram. So the first thing is that we reframe the belief. So how do you reframe a belief? Let's say somebody has a negative belief. Let's say somebody says that I am not good at something. Okay, so there was this is something which has built over a period of time. Let's say this guy started writing. He was not good at writing, and he says, yes, I am not good at something. So he has given a mental yes to that particular thing. Next, he goes for some other task, and he's again not getting good at that, and he's like, yes, I'm not good at this thing. Then he tries something else, and again he fails, and he says, yes, I'm not good at. So mentally he's saying yes to all those negative thoughts. So the first technique that I want to share with you is building that yes set. When we are catching ourselves doing something good or saying something positive to ourselves, that is the start of a belief. And that time we say a mental yes, a strong mental yes to ourselves. If it is something that we want, if let's say person tries something and he fails, he doesn't need to say a yes to it, that yes, this is my reality, because that is just one of instance in the whole reality. So let's say if the belief is that I'm not good at something, so it should not be like a yes immediately for it. Okay, so the person says that I'm not good at something. No, I don't think so it is true, because I know that my mind can create a perception, my mind can create an illusion. And like all the beliefs which are not working for us, this can also be a lie. So if let's the person really argues with you that no, 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 I'm not good at this thing, what you can also appreciate is that he's very good at this self-defeating purpose of saying that he's not good, which means that there lies a positivity in that person, there lies a possibility in that person. This reframing is all about this art of possibility, that how if somebody is giving a negative, how you can turn it into a positive. So first thing first, let's not say yes to all those beliefs that are challenging us, limiting us. Let's look at those beliefs and say that we can be better, we can be much more. And the second part of the situation is, the second part of the toolkit is that you add this word yet. So person says, I am not good at, let's say, writing emails. This is this person who always complains that, oh, he is not a good writer and he doesn't write good emails. So first of all, in his mind, he has to say a no to that belief, that no, this belief can also be untrue. This can also be a lie. And second thing is, he just needs to add this word yet at the end of it. So I am not good at writing emails yet. What is this doing to this entire belief is that it is adding this possibility of change towards the end. And that's how we kind of build it up. Okay. So the two takeaways that I want to share with you is, don't stop believing in yourself. Stop believing in the limiting beliefs that you have. And sometimes when people who you are working with, your coaches, your trainees, when they come to you with a limiting belief, you recognize that where their thoughts are getting limited, and you ask them to say a no to that thought. Okay, they can either visualize it, they can, put it into a picture, they can put a name to it, and then they say no to that thought. Only the empowering beliefs is where we say yes to. And finally, with any kind of a limitation, this word yet does a lot of magic, because the thoughts will eventually become things. Whatever thoughts they have, they will turn and they will go back and they'll become things. So it is important that what kind of thoughts we are having in our mind, what kind of thought process we are developing. If at all it is a negative belief, it is very important that we challenge that belief of ours. We are ready to challenge the positive beliefs at times, but it is important that we challenge, and it is important that as coaches, as leaders, you challenge the limiting beliefs of those who come to you and ask for your help, your coaches, your trainees. It is important that you help them get into the same doubt, but it should not be a self doubt. It should be a doubt of doubting the doubt itself. So I'll take a pause here. That was the first concept of the day where I shared with you the belief, the psychology of the belief, how this entire chain of thoughts acts beneath the surface of a subconscious and unconscious mind, and how it is important that before we even change a negative habit or a negative behavior, we address the belief part of it. And how do we do that is by saying a no to that belief if it is not working for us, and saying a yes to the beliefs that work for us. Really, really challenging the beliefs which are limiting in nature, which are self-doubting in nature, challenging those beliefs, and adding this magic word yet. Whenever you find yourself thinking in a negative direction, you add this word yet. So I'll take a pause here. And the second most important thing before I open it for questions is that this whole matrix of thinking. So one is evidence based thinking, other is a presumption. And you can see that how from one tangent to another tangent, if let's say we are presuming very highly but and not even looking for evidence, it's a false belief on the left hand side. But if we are presuming very likely and we have kind of examined it as well, but very with high number of presumption, it becomes a fantasy. But certain beliefs, if at all they are examined well, if at all they have been structured and explored well, that is where that inquiry becomes a evidence based belief. And a lot of times these negative beliefs, they don't have an evidence, they don't have a strong evidence to it, or nobody has inquired or challenged them. So this is what I would like to invite you to do, that in that inquiry with your coaches, with your trainees, with people you work with, your friends, those around you, you help them to inquire, help them ask better questions whenever they are doubting themselves. Help them to make sure that they are not falling into this trap of accepting a negative belief and empowering it. All right, so I'll take a pause here. Devansh says, for you be living what you are believing. Yeah, nice wordplay. Devansh liked it. Believing, be living. Yes, really nice. So I'll take a pause. If you have any questions, you can unmute and ask the questions. We have some time at hand, and I'll try my level best to answer this in the limited time. And if not, I can always come back to this. This is, as I said, this is a five class session, a five session class where today we have covered the groundwork of understanding how the beliefs are formed. Then the next four sessions will be just techniques of changing the way how we think, changing the way how we make a behavior and pattern and a habit. Yeah, so I hope that whatever I shared was useful. If any one of you would like to go off mute, ask a question, post a question on the chat box, I'll be happy to take some questions. Devansh, Ashish, Abhinav, any of you would like to ask a question? Anything that comes to your mind? By the way, there were some, once you start, becoming um, a practitioner of these techniques that I'm saying, you will be finding that, oh yes, there are examples of people around us who are falling into this trap, and it's not required that we do a very, very structured kind of coaching for them or a structured counseling for them. Sometime, we can just give that help right away in the moment. So one of my coaches calls it guerrilla coaching. You're not saying that you're coaching the other person, but you're coaching the other person. So it's all about sharing this knowledge and helping people examine, question, and inquire more about their negative beliefs. So let me see if there are some questions, friends. Okay, I see there are no questions. No problem. We'll build this topic up in the next upcoming session. And all right, just see a question from Devansh. He says, how to move away from the familiarity of past and assume it's for sure possibility in present and future if one has witnessed only failures as future is unsure. Great. Thank you. Thank you for that question, Devansh, where this can be a possibility where, let's say, a person has faced so many failures and so many problems that now you are trying to show them that, okay, there lies a possibility of the future, but they are not ready to accept. Good question. That means that you have kind of thought about the topic, you have worked with people, and you have also tried helping friends who get into this kind of a trap. I'll tell you what, let's not even talk about failure. Let's even talk about something greater than that. Something greater than that can be, let's say, a very bad experience, or let's say a trauma. So, because as psychologists, we work with sometimes people who had a trauma in past. Let's say this person had a very bad experience in the past. Now, today, he or she, they stand with the learnings of this experience and they say, oh, I cannot be happy, or I'll be a failure because of that experience. Now, let me take you to a point. Let's say, while all of us we were growing up, one of the best times in our school or school time was this time of a vacation. Every time, we are waiting for this 2 months vacation or 1 month vacation in certain schools, the summer vacations in particular. And those days in the summer vacations, what used to happen is that there were not so many ways of entertainment. The cable TV was not there, or Netflix was not there, and your Instagram reels were not there. So people are feeling really, really, really bored that time. So imagine that there is this kid, he or she is in that middle of the summer vacation. They're feeling absolutely bored, and they're thinking, oh my God, this summer vacation idea is bad. And my parents are not taking out me some anywhere, and I'm feeling absolutely bored bored to the core. This is the worst time, worst vacation, really bad. Or maybe that is one vacation where this kid meets with an accident, has a broken arm, was trying to, climb up a tree and falls down. Now he has a fracture in his hand. Worst time, bad time, pain, trauma, failure, all of that is there. What do you tell this kid? Maybe that kid, that particular time for that vacation is, let's imagine this kid is like 8 or 10 years old when he or she has this experience, feeling very bad. What this kid doesn't know is that the next year, if you look into the timeline of this kid's life, next year there is a birthday party that his parents are throwing for this kid, which is going to be an absolutely amazing experience where all his or her friends are invited, they're having a great time, there's nice things to eat, good music. Okay, how do you feel just listening about this? You feel good. You feel about that birthday party example that I gave in the beginning. And the birthday parties are absolutely fun. What if this kid who has a broken arm or who has experienced a very boring this thing, he knows that if today it is 25th of August, 1st of September is this birthday party which is going to happen. What do you think will be his level of boredom, his level of feeling of that pain? What will be his level? If he knows that just 5 6 days away is a grand birthday party which is there, will it be same or will it be lower? That's my question. What will be his primary feeling that will drive him? So he is in pain or she is in pain. They are feeling bored. They are feeling that this is a bad time of the year. But still, that mindset will not be a negative mindset. They will be in what I call an excited anticipation of the future, because this is what the future holds. And just when they know it, that in 5 days there is this grand birthday party, that excited anticipation will be very high. Maybe the kid is still planning for it. Maybe the kid is still taking some measures to make sure, okay, what kind of dress I'll be wearing. So, with the current reality, he or she will accept it, but still continue to plan for that exciting future. But my friends, just like this kid, we are not sure that what the future will be, but we can all be excited about the possibilities of the future. So, this is where, Devansh, I like the last part of your question where you said the kid has witnessed failures and future, and the magic word that I'm using there is but future really is unsure, which is a good thing, which means that there is no surety that this will continue to be in future, which means that there can be a birthday party waiting down the line, there can be a big success waiting down the line, and he or she has to be excited about that. So this is where we seed in hope. This is where we seed in excited anticipation, because there is no surety that the belief that the person has that it is a failure is a true belief. That belief can be a lie. So starting with a very humble inquiry that yes, what can be some other options? What can be some other possibilities? And life is full of possibilities. Every morning there are people waking up feeling sad, but do you know that there are lakhs of people who go to sleep a day before? Most of them, they don't even get up, you know but the sheer fact that you are awake this morning, where lakhs of people didn't wake up, and you still have the full day in front of you and you have such a positive mindset, means that definitely there is exciting times ahead. Whenever you hit the rock bottom, what happens? People feel that, oh, I have hit the rock bottom. If you ask a rubber ball, when it hits rock bottom, what happens? It jumps up. That is the point where it has the maximum energy to go up. That is the point it has got maximum positivity to go up, chances of going up. So when things are not going right in your life, be thankful to God that now God is building your resilience. You are on that path where God is carrying you to a path of better resilience. You are going to explore some of these qualities in you. And that, my friends, is a very important life lesson. So thank you for your question, Devansh. Really appreciate the kind of learnings that it brought for all of us. And we are just on top of the hour. And in the last 2 minutes or so, I just want to thank all of you for finding time for this call, for this connect, and learning these skills, which definitely means that you are going to take this further and benefit those around you. So, as a parting note, take care of yourself, take care of your friends, take care of your parents, and share this positivity with others. And I'll definitely see you in the next session. Thank you, Abhinav. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you, Devansh. Have a wonderful Sunday ahead. Thank you.